Neptunian parasite history. They started out as parasites that assimilate sentient beings, example humans. During assimilation, all of the flesh minus the lungs and brain gets dissolved. After a while, evolution began. Two forms were formed, the ones that are still parasite, and the ones I mentioned before have normal organs, including blood, due to adaptations. They are also not hostile toward sentient beings, and now have their own traditions for the dead. More on that later. Meanwhile, the other groups still assimilate, and the spore zone is their way of reproducing. The parasites produce spores that then get released into the air for a sentient being to breath in. Stage 1, pure parasite era. Process assimilate sentient host. Dissolve all flesh except lungs plus brain. Basically a full body hijack. Purpose, survival through takeover. Likely no individual culture because they were just using host bodies. Reproduction, spore zone method. They release airborne spores. Host inhales them, and boom, new parasite. Silent, insidious, horrifying. Stage 2, the Great Divergence. Evolution forced a speciation event. Now there are two branches. Branch A, modern Neptunians parasites, Nytherins. Humans and everyone else calls them Neptunian parasites, but they're actually called Nytherins, last minute change. Adaptation, developed their own complete organs, blood. No host needed. Behavior, non-hostile to sentient beings, they've built culture. They even carry their dead to the quiet current, sacred resting place. Implication, they choose sapience over parasitism. They're basically the evolved beyond it descendants. Branch B, the originals, still active. Behavior, still assimilate hosts old way. Reproduction, still use the spore zone plus spore method. Status, basically a living fossil and active threat. Explains why the species name kept parasite. Neptunian Nytherins lifespan, death, culture. Lifespan. Neptunian can live up to 5,000 years. They're invincible, they can't be beaten in combat. They won't die of that, but they can still die of old age. Death. When a Neptunian Nytherin dies, they don't decay the same way a human would. Stage 1, expiration. When a Neptunian dies, there's not a traditional corpse. No rigor mortis, no rot, they have no skeleton. Stage 2, dissolution over several hours. Their bodies gradually liquefies, slow melt, not violent. Stage 3, the puddle. What's left of them is a puddle of faintly bioluminescent fluid. Color depends on the variant, if they're exotics at least. It's odorless or sometimes smells like ozone sea spray. No grotesque, the others don't fear the puddle. Touching it isn't a biohazard, it's family. Culture. Every Neptunian is equipped with a beautifully crafted buckets. They typically have carvings, paint, flowers, etc. They are used to carry puddles of friends, family, and fellow Neptunian and transfer them to a sacred place, known as the quiet current. It serves a final resting place for the dead. 1 month? Every year there is a tradition called the Month of Lingering Light that takes place in the quiet current, where everyone drops everything that they're doing and start remembering because they refuse to forget the ones that joined the current. To them, forgetting is the only true death. The tradition exists so that no one slips into that second death. Some people say that the very first Neptunian who ever dissolve is somewhere in the quiet current and is the foundation of the whole place. So disrespecting or destroying this sacred place would be considered unforgivable, probably a war crime as well, which says something because they tend to be very forgiving and understanding beings. During the Month of Lingering Light, the elders will say things like, "She entered the current last cycle," instead of "she died," and "may your patterns join the current as a blessing, Har's farewell." Neptunian parasite. Variant, shadowsite, cavern dweller. Spiresite, molten ice. Stalker, lavender, abyssal. Build, 5-8 feet tall depending on variant. Slender humanoid, sharp cloven hooves. Eyes, big visor-like, thin lashes, gender marker. Top eyelid lashes, vouchered female, bottom eyelid lashes, actors male. Patterns, unique exotic bioluminescent pattern per variant, glows at night. Biology, few organs. Brain, lungs, heart, reproductive system. Slow bleeding, regeneration. Manipulate body. Behavior, naturally clingy from infancy. Passive but undefeatable in combat. 5,000-year lifespan. Death cycle. Stage 1, expiration. Stage 2, dissolution, liquefy. Stage 3, bioluminescent puddle. No rot, odorless, sometimes smells like ozone sea spray. Culture community carries remains in buckets to the quiet current. Month-long lingering light remembrance tradition. Capability. Neptunians are able to reproduce with most types of aliens, including humans. They are also capable of adapting to almost any environment, hot and cold temperature. Despite living on eclipsed Neptune, it breaks logic because the temperature go below absolute zero, roughly 5,000 degrees at its warmest, and 10,000 degrees at its coldest. Eclipse Neptune is the largest eclipse planet in the entire solar system. It even dominates all of the normal version of all of the planets. Quiet current rolls by variant, abyssal, water shapers or contamination prevention. Cavern dweller, stonemasons or maintenance. Parasite, architects. Molten ice, thermoregulators or preservationists. Lavender horticulturists. Shadowsite, archivists. Rolls outside the quiet current. Shadowsite, messenger or retrievers. Lavender, gardeners or healers or artists. Cavern dweller, miners or engineers. Parasite navigators or cartographer. Molten ice, blacksmiths or therapist. Stalker, intelligence or watchers. Abyssal, underwater resource collector or underwater rescuer. Fun fact 1. Abyssal Neptunians' saliva can turn into a form of bioadhesive. Its purpose is to help them build their homes, nests. Fun fact 2. Depending on the species of aliens, including humans, the children that a Neptunians and the other being have together, their children could possibly outlive both of their parents. For example, humans in this universe can live up to 500 years. When the children's human side dies, their Neptunian side would take over, increasing their lifespan to around 500 years. This also results to their appearance changing over time.